Hello friends, in this video I will tell you amazing stories of victories and failures of 3 legendary wrestlers who left a bright mark in the world of wrestling. We'll look back at their wrestling careers full of ups and downs, and see how they reached the heights in the 90s and 2000s. These wrestlers didn't just compete, they made history. Let's find out how they became some of the most talented wrestlers of their time. Buvaisar Saitiev is a legendary wrestler. He is the most titled freestyle wrestler in the world, a 6-time world and European champion, and a 3-time Olympic champion. Only the legendary Alexander Madvid, who is also a 3-time Olympic champion, has won more gold at world championships, namely 7. Saitiev is the first Chechen to win an Olympic gold medal, a Chechen by nationality who glorified his native Dagestan. He is still just basic to his relatives and friends, and to young people he is an example of endurance, courage and aspiration to victory. Buvaisar Saitiev grew up in a large family in Ketoev. When he was only 13, his father died in a car accident, and his mother single-handedly raised 6 children. He had to work his way to the top of Olympus by his hard work and true Caucasian character. At the age of 14, Buvaisar achieved the title of Master of Sports, and at the age of 15 the young athlete moved to Novokuznetsk, where he studied at a sports boarding school. A year later, he became the winner of the Soviet Union Youth Championship, which was held for the last time in the history of the Union. Having finished school, Buvaisar chose the path of a sports career. After, he moved to Krasnoyarsk and became a pupil of the strongest school of freestyle wrestling under Dmitry Mediashvili. At the age of 20, Buvaisar Saitiev became the 1995 world champion in Atlanta, and from here he started counting down his unique large-scale victories. A year later, in the same Atlanta, Buvaisar Saitiev's Olympic star was lit up. He managed to defeat the experienced Korean Park Jang-soon, the winner of the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, who could do nothing on the mat with his Caucasian rival, so young and grasping. The spectators compared Park Jang-soon to a calf trying to wrestle an oak tree. The bout ended in a 5-0 dry score. The youngest Russian athlete in freestyle wrestling won gold at the 1996 Olympics. Freestyle wrestling connoisseurs also recall the final of the Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, in 2004. The honor of the country was again defended by the legendary and invincible Buvaisar, defeating in the decisive fight wrestler from Kazakhstan Gennady Loliv. Before that, he left no chance to his rivals, titled wrestlers, winners of European and World Championships and Olympic Games, Arpad Ritter, Emzarios Bantanidis, Murad Gaidarov, Christian Brazovsky. Saitiev crushed the main contender for Olympic gold, Loliv, on the mat with a score of 7-0, leaving him no chance. Every fan remembers Buvaisar Saitiev's fight because it was a truly exciting fight. One more grandiose victory came to Buvaisar Saitiev a year earlier. All of Buvaisar Saitiev's fights were remembered by fans of freestyle wrestling. However, the brightest in his career was recognized as the meeting on the carpet of Madison Square Garden in New York in 2003 at the World Championships. Belarusian wrestler Murad Gaidarov of Dagestan could not withstand the onslaught of the famous Chechen, despite the fact that Buvaisar felt unwell after a severe injury, a fracture of the facial bone. The coaches questioned Saitiev's participation in the final match, but Buvaisar took to the mat, proving his endurance. The fight ended in a draw, but Saitiev received fewer judges' comments and defended his title of 5-time world champion. Very memorable was also the final of the Russian Championship in 2008, where a ticket to Beijing for the Olympic Games was played. The 33-year-old Saitiev managed to defeat Murad Gaidarov, a fighter to whom he had lost twice before. The first round of this fight was not in Saitiev's favor, but in the last round he left no chance to his opponent and proved again that he is the strongest in freestyle wrestling. Buvaisar Saitiev won his third Olympic gold medal in Beijing in 2008. Soslan Tiji from Uzbekistan then became a worthy opponent on the Olympic carpet, until the last second of the fight did not give up his position. In an open and persistent struggle, Saitiev still managed to take the upper hand over his Uzbek rival. He finished the bout with a score of 3-1 and confirmed his title as Olympic champion. After Beijing, Saitiev decided to leave the sport. There was talk of his return on the eve of the next Olympic Games in London in 2012, but Saitiev refused to test his fate. In his interviews, the athlete says that now he lives quietly like a normal person. Well, speaking about wrestling, Saitiev considers wrestling a very important sport. Sitting at the chessboard and playing chess is not difficult, no one prevents you from concentrating. But in wrestling, not only do you have to anticipate and calculate your opponent's actions ahead of time, he also constantly interferes with you, he wants to get on the horse himself. At the championship level, it is a whole chain of factors, it is a rivalry of strategies, characters and inner worlds, not just skill and physical strength. Dagestan has given the world more than one strong freestyle wrestler. Due to the huge competition within the Russian national team, many guys from the Caucasus leave to play for the national teams of other countries in order to be able to compete at the World Championships, European Championships, and Olympic Games. One of these defectors was wrestler Murad Gaidarov, a talented middleweight who played for the Belarusian team. Murad Gaidarov was born in 1980 in Ketoev in Dagestan. All his brothers were involved in freestyle wrestling, including Georgy Ketoev, who would later take on the functions of personal coach of the future Olympic medalist. Murad zealously took up the task and soon became one of the best in his town. However, at a certain point he became very fond of kickboxing. Hiding his hobby from his relatives, the Avarian secretly visited a neighboring hall, where he zealously hit a sandbag. Murad Gaidarov's sports specialization was in question. He was equally fond of wrestling and kickboxing, but his older brother had his say. Gaidar found out about his brother's mischief and talked to him harshly, thanks to which he decided to concentrate on one thing. Soon the talented boy from Ketoev came to the attention of Russian national team coaches, and Murad Gaidarov began to regularly represent the country's honor at various junior tournaments. Having become number one in Russia, he sought the right to participate in the World and European Championships. Thus, in 1996 the Dagestani won the World Championship among juniors, and in 2000 he became the Continental Champion among youth. The transition to the adult level implied significant difficulties for Murad. After all, there were very strong athletes in the category up to 74 kilograms, among whom Buvaisar Saitiev, who had already become the champion of the Sydney Olympics, had a special place. But, just by the way, the offer from Murad Gaidarov's friend Wrestlov to try his hand as a wrestler representing the Republic of Belarus came. Avar opened a direct road for participation in World and European Championships, the opportunity to perform at the Olympic Games, and after some thought he agreed to apply for a Belarusian passport. The first serious awards found the wrestler Murad Gaidarov already in 2002 when he became the silver medalist of the European Championship. The main rival on the world arena for him was his fellow countryman, Buvaisar Saitiev, with whom the sporting lot regularly brought Murad together at all major tournaments. Their duel in the final of the 2003 World Championships in New York was especially dramatic. The main time ended with the score 2-2, and the judges awarded the victory to Buvaisar, explaining it by the excessive remarks to Murad. The first Olympics ended for the Belarusian wrestler with a defeat in the quarterfinals against Buvaisar Saitiev. Murad was not discouraged and began to prepare for the next starts of the quadrennium, which were to be held in Beijing in 2008. At this Olympics, Murad Gaidarov was unstoppable and brilliantly defeated all his rivals on his way to the semifinals. Here, Ossetian wrestler Soslan Tijiev, representing Uzbekistan, was waiting for him. The battle between the Uzbek and the Belarusian ended not in favor of the latter. After that, Gaidarov waited for his rival in the consolation final for bronze. In the fight for third place, the young Romanian Stefan turned out to be a bit too tough for the seasoned Dagestani, who even with a meniscus injury managed to confidently defeat his rival. After gaining the status of Olympic medalist, Murad Gaidarov went into the shadows for some time, healing old injuries and restoring his health. Later, he still had successful performances. In particular, he became a silver medalist at the 2014 European Championships. Having finished his sports career, Murad Gaidarov left Belarus and returned to his native Dagestan. Georgy Ketoev is a talented and extremely capable wrestler, a multiple medalist in various tournaments, including a medalist at the Olympic Games. In his time, his wrestling career was very successful, highlighted by many bright performances at competitions of regional and international level. Especially rich for the athlete was 2006, during which Ketoev took part in several prestigious competitions, among which Grand Prix Ivan Yarygin, bronze medal, Russian Championship, bronze medal,
турнир нижневартовский надо занести в историю как самый красивый, техничный, вот как технично подсечкой бросает своего соперника за жизнь.
and World Cup, gold medal.
Да, Китоев завоевывает еще один выигрышный балл, счет становится 1-1. И этот период в пользу борца в красном трико Георгия Кетоева, обладателя Кубка мира. В принципе, это уже победа. За 7 секунд вряд ли что сделаешь.
In 2007, Georgy Ketoev also distinguished himself. He took part in the World Championship in Baku and won a gold medal. He competed at the Ivan Yarygin Memorial Grand Prix and won a gold medal. He competed at the European Championships and also won a victory, and with it, gold again. Thanks to all these gold medals, in the same year Georgy Ketoev became the owner of the official prize of Fila, Golden Wrestler, a prize which is awarded only for the second time in the history of wrestling. In 1986, it was awarded to the greatest wrestler Arsen Fedzev. A year later, Georgy Ketoev took part in pre-Olympic qualifying competitions, in which he wrestled excellently. He was awarded an honorable prize and was included in the national team in the weight category up to 84 kilograms. Having defeated the famous German wrestler David Bichinashvili in the bout for the third place, Georgy Ketoev became the bronze medalist of the 2008 Summer Olympics in freestyle wrestling. After the Olympics, Georgy Ketoev trained hard under the careful guidance of his experienced mentor Murad Gaidarov. The Olympian had plans to participate in many competitions of world and Olympic level, as well as to win a large number of honorary awards. But in the future, Georgy Ketoev's biggest achievements in the international arena were only silver at the 2009 European Championships. As well as gold at the 2011 World Cup.
финальная схватка в тяжелом весе номинальной становится. Очень красиво переиграл. Опять в своем захвате коронном. И вот отсюда, чем недоволен иранец был. Давайте смотреть. Не понял, ни свистка не было, ничего. Вставал, конечно, уже полностью, так сказать, отдавая себя в захват Георгия Кетоева. Молодец, Георгий.